Welcome to the Predictive Playbook. It's Monday, June 28th, 2021. I'm your host, John Bryan, and I'm pleased to have Adam Trigger on the show this morning. And welcome to the show, Adam. How was your weekend? How are the trends running? I see you're running pretty good in the Euro soccer here, and also NBA. You have a nice winning streak building as well.
Yeah, so the weekend went really good. I finally, started to have a really good week last week after a really tough start to June for me. The first 3 weeks were not very good. The last week has been solid. Lost on the Hawks last night, but the overall the NBA run has been really good this last week or so. Actually, the NBA has gone great for me all season. That's one thing that's been like a big highlight for me, and I've bounced back nice in the Euro. Three straight Euro 2020 winners. Had Austria on Saturday, which was a win against the +1 line in regulation. Belgium got it done for me yesterday, and I will have a play in the Euro this afternoon that we'll talk about in a minute.
Yeah, and let's get right to it. 2020 European Championship. This is the round of 16. I believe they call it the knockout round, and you're looking at the game France versus Switzerland, scheduled to start at 3 o'clock Eastern on ESPN. And these two teams have not played each other since 2016 in the UEFA European Championship, which ended in a 0-0 final. Previous to that, Switzerland lost 5-2 to France. France, another 0-0 game. And in 2005, they played twice, again tying 1-1 in each game. So this is a very looks like a very evenly matched game, even though these the historical times they've played has been so long ago. But I'm sure you can tell us how these rounds work and how the betting works, which is really important to beginning bettors. So take it away.
Yeah, so let's just touch on that first because I think over the weekend I had Austria +1, and when you're betting the spread or you're betting the total or the three-way line in soccer in a tournament like this, those are for regulation only, and your book should state that pretty clearly. But I had a number of people DM and on Twitter thinking that once Austria went down 2-0 to Italy in extra time that we were about to lose our bet, and I had to just remind them we already won. That bet is in regulation, and I think it's just important to refresh people's memory because you also you have so many new people in the betting space now that probably weren't even around betting maybe for the 2018 World Cup or the 2016 Euro, so they might you might have just new people to the space, and I think it's important to know like for example today, if you lay -155 to bet France, you're betting that they win that match within 90 minutes. If you wanted to bet them to advance, meaning just getting to the next round any which way possible, whether it be a regulation win, an extra time win, or penalties, you would have to lay -350 to bet France to just advance. So there is a difference betting, the spread market or just the regular markets, because those are within 90 minutes. And I also think, and this will just lead into how I feel about the France-Switzerland match. I think there's teams that are pretty overvalued as favorites in this scenario. And I feel that way for a couple reasons. So, and if you look at what's gone on so far this weekend, you're seeing a lot of these quote-unquote underdogs cash against the, the +1 or the spread market. For example, so we go back to Saturday, Austria +1 in regulation. That's a winner because it gets to 90 minutes 0-0. They play extra time. Czech Republic they won outright 2-0 against the Netherlands yesterday. You could have had them at +1, -120. So I think that it's important to understand that when you get to the knockout round, there's a couple of things that sort of happen. One, these are just one-off games. So it's, anything can happen in one match. And, this is the entire, I guess you could call it season, tournament. I mean, these guys prepare and train, the Euro and the World Cup is everything for international soccer. So, I mean, France and for Switzerland, I mean, this is their season as well. So the way I look at this year is, I just think you have some of these favorites like France overvalued a little bit, especially considering the fact that they know they get extra time if needed. So what happens, like in the Austria-Italy match, for example, what happened? Once that got to like the 80th, 85th minute and it was 0-0, I mean, you could tell that both teams were not going to really take a big time chance, knowing that they were going to get to play it out for another 30 minutes in extra time. So it's almost like with some of these knockout phase matches, if you can get to the final 10 minutes and it's tied, you might see teams pump the brakes a little bit, just more so not wanting to get countered or not wanting to, teams go into the not to lose mentality a little bit more so, knowing that extra time is not golden goal. It's not score and it's over. It's another 30-minute stanza. So, it's just, you're going to get teams that are even the favorites, even like a France or an Italy, is going to be far less likely to push forward at the end of regulation if it's tied, knowing that they're going to get another 30-minute segment regardless. So my bet today is on Switzerland +1. Just to break it down real quick and give a little background on the match. I mean, okay. So Switzerland got killed by Italy in the group phase. They lost 3-0. It was so bad that the coach publicly apologized to the fans. They were that just unimpressive in that match, and it really looked like they kind of gave up. That they knew that they could go out and get the result against Turkey and still advance, and it was just a very uninspired performance. Switzerland was much better against Turkey, pounded them 3-1. They looked great, and I really think that that's what this Switzerland team is capable of. And they're also fully fit, no injury concerns. They're going to have their optimal starting 11 out there. France, on the other hand, I mean, they're one of the top sides in the tournament, but they to me, they lack a little bit of the killer instinct in the final third. There's no reason they should have ever drew 1-1 with Hungary. I mean, that's a really bad result. And, they scored twice against Portugal, but it was a 2-2 draw. And again, I just felt like they really sort of lacked something the last couple matches in terms of like just going for the kill in the final third. They seem to dominate the game in the middle of the field. And they're pretty set up well defensively, although Portugal had no problem breaking them down. But defensively, they set up pretty nicely, and they have world class talent up and down the team sheet. But they just haven't been the killers in the final third that they were in the 2018 World Cup. And so I have them a little bit overvalued, and I do think Switzerland can be up for it in this game. The game's in Romania, so it's a neutral pitch. It's in Bucharest, and I just think, again, if you're going to give me the goal head start, meaning I get out with a push if France win by 1, I think it's going to be a tighter, cagier matchup than most think, and there's just so many ways I get out not losing this bet. Switzerland comes in and pulls the upset like Czech Republic did yesterday, I win. If they can draw and get through the 90 minutes at a draw, I win. And if France, do go ahead, as long as, Switzerland don't give up here, I could see France being ahead 1-0 and sort of packing it in and being willing to defend their lead as opposed to go, trying to pile on and risk getting countered. So you're gonna have to pay a little bit of a premium. It's gone up. I think we're looking at like -135, -140. But I would say this. You could wait because I think you'll see France money roll in throughout the day, and that might go off like -125, -130, whatever it is. I would lay it. Take the +1 with Switzerland. I really think they're capable of getting more out of this match than most people are giving them credit for.
Sounds good. It sounds real good, Adam. I'm looking at DraftKings lines here, and the method of victory for extra time France is kind of sticking out at me, and wondering what your thoughts are. It's +850 that France wins in extra time, so that obviously means they would be tied, they'd be tied at the end of regulation, and then they would get a goal.
So that's a really interesting bet that they're offering, and here's how I would look at that. So the draw in this match is plus 270. Okay, so that's like I mean, a draw is a very common outcome in soccer. I always like betting the draw. Like if you ever, I'll just throw this out there. If you're ever not sure and you just want action on a given soccer match because you want to watch it, or you want to, like, you just don't know what you want to bet, and you want some action on a soccer match, just bet the draw, because you're always going to get a price. You're always going to get like between plus 200, plus 300. I mean, obviously there'll be bigger prices if it's a really lopsided match,
Right.
but a lot of times if you're not sure and you just want a little action, you can bet the draw, and they a lot of these matches end in draws. Now, to comment on what you brought up right there, if this does end up drawing, I mean, France to advance is minus 350. So essentially, if you hit the draw at minus 270, you're still probably going to be, France will still be favored to advance going in extra time. Like, they're even if it gets to extra time, you'll still see like the live line on France to advance at that point is probably still like minus 180, minus 170. Like they're still going to be favored to advance. So
Right.
if you're catching like 8-1 on a it's basically like you're betting the draw, but you're getting like a ton of added value, because if you get the draw, the result you need is still the favorite to happen once you get to extra time. So yeah, I mean, that's a very interesting
I
bet.
think I might play
But
it just for a
it
little, pizza money.
it seems like an overlay at that number. Let's just
Yep.
put it that way. It seems like that is too big. I would have thought it would have been like 4 or 5 to 1. So that
Yeah.
is interesting.
Oh, good stuff. Yeah, I'm definitely going to watch that game this afternoon, and I think I will take a plunge on that. Because the market, too, is looking like a low-scoring game for that, so it should be pretty cagey, as you said.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, I could definitely see 0-0 or 1-1. I
yeah.
think 1-1. I mean, if you wanted to, look, price hunt
Yep.
again, 1-1 exact score might not be a horrible option either,
Yep.
because it has that kind of feel to me. It has a 1-1 feel to me. I feel like someone's going to go ahead. There's going to be an equalizer, and then we're going to get into that
Yep.
last 20 mode of not wanting to lose, and very well could end up in extra time that way. So yeah, I think those are very interesting ways to look at it. And then
Yeah.
it's a 4 unit play for me. It is a best bet. It's the one I'm selling on my page. So if no need to buy it. Switzerland +1 is the Euro play for this afternoon.
Yeah, it's nice of you to do for everybody. I'm going to shift gears here a little bit. I have an outstanding Major League Baseball angle today, and it has to do with the Houston Astros, who are just, basically beating up the league left and right. They're now 18 games over 500. Baltimore is 30 games under 500. They are playing at 8:10 Eastern Standard Time tonight. Eshelman is on the hill, a right-handed pitcher for Baltimore. And the veteran and just cagey, competitive guy, Zach Greinke's on the hill for the Astros. So real simple. This is betting on home favorites of minus 175 and greater, coming off a game in which they did not have an extra base hit, which is somewhat unusual for the Houston Astros because they do hit the ball pretty darn well. But this system is laying some serious wood, but it has outstanding results. So 226 wins, 75 losses, 75% winning percentage just the last 5 seasons. $100 better has profited $7,785, which translates into a pretty terrific 16.4% ROI. Then you add this subset here that gets up close to 80% winners if the home favorite, which today the Astros are, greater than minus 200, and facing a struggling opponent, which obviously Baltimore is struggling, with a win percentage of below 40% on the season. The record then is 55-15 for 79% winning bets over the last 5 seasons. Tells you to bet on the Houston Astros tonight. And real quick, here is my latest streaks. And was told over the weekend that my college football and NFL the last 35 plays I released, which included the playoffs and the bowls and part of the regular seasons, hit 73.5% against the number. So we have some really good subscriptions coming up later this week to get on board. So I'll be sure to mention them to you, but look on the website and they'll be out there. I can't wait for that to start. But Adam, I really appreciate you being on the show. I think that'll do it for today. But first, anything else going on over at Sportsmemo for you other than the generous 4-unit play you just gave out?
Yeah, so it should still be. Oh, actually, it's a coupon that should still be active. If it's not, DM me because I'll make sure it gets active. But I thought it was. I thought they were going to have it up till the end of the month. Basically, it's this week. So the last day to take advantage of it is actually today. But it would be, and you can DM me and I can make sure that this gets done for you. But it's 7 days discounted to $49. It gets you through July 4th. It will get, I'll probably have at least one more 5-unit NBA play this week. It gets you all the Euro action and KBO, which is still running good for me. I haven't had a play in a few days, but I definitely will be back in action in the KBO this week. And then I'm still, grinding out baseball every day. So a lot of action. I intend to have a little bit more volume this week as we, just start it just the ebbs and flows. I was a little bit more low volume last week, but I feel like I like where things are going now in terms of starting to heat up a little bit. So yeah, I expect to have a pretty good week, and you can get the week at a discount. The coupon code for Sportsmemo is FLIGHT49. So FLIGHT 49. And if for some reason that does not work for you, I'll make sure it gets put back up. So just shoot me a DM, but you should be able to go to Sportsmemo, click on my 7-day all access, and use the coupon code FLIGHT49 to get a discount.
Awesome stuff, Adam. So tomorrow we'll have Adam on again with Jimmy Adams. Too many Adams here. Nuclear power plant. Get it? Not funny. But anyway, we'll have both of them on tomorrow, the same time. In about half an hour, I'll have Joe D'Amico coming on, and his excitement is second to none. And of course, later today we will have Manny's Pub starting at 4 Eastern. And I will have 2 solo shows featuring another Major League Baseball angle of the day and some stuff in the NBA where I'm running really pretty hot. So that'll do it for today. Thank you, Adam. And on behalf of Adam, myself, wagertalk.com, sportsmemo.com, and the Predictive Playbook, may all the wins be yours.